Hello, 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 everyone. Good afternoon. This is John Samuel Estate's team. I'm Stephanie Okafor, and here with me is Mr. Brendan Tasley. I'm sure you all remember 2 days ago, I had a video release talking about National Apprentice Day. So from the 8th of February to the 14th of February, it's National Apprentice Day, where employers will have apprentices celebrate all their employees. I would say I'm one of the favored ones. I use the word favored because I've had good experiences with the ones I've had, and I have my outstanding one here with me, which I mentioned his name the last time. I've got two of them. I've got Fatima Said and I've got Mr. Brendan Task. I just want to say that we appreciate both of you. You're valuable members of staffs, and I do appreciate you both. You make the work, the vision easier for myself and the company. So to me, today we're going to beg your pardon. Today we have Mr. Brendan Tasler, as mentioned earlier, is going to be sharing his story, his journey with us, how far he's how far he's going, where he's going, and he's just going to tell us all about it. If it's interesting or it's not, you watch out for his answer. I'm sure he will be able to give an insight to how his journey has been with us. So over to you, Brendan. How are you today?
Very well, thank you. And yourself?
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And how has it been working remotely from home?
It's been all right, but I do prefer the office.
I know. I trust. I trust in you. You've always been the person that likes to be in the office all the time. But unfortunately, it's what it is. So we just have to make use of what we have. But we are grateful. We're still busy, but we're just working remotely from home. We are all praying that very soon all will be well and we can all return back to the office and continue as normal, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yes, I can't wait.
I bet you can. Oh, so I'd just like you to share your journey with our audience. There might be an apprentice out there still thinking about it, that's confused if to come on board. And I'd just like you to share your journey with everyone, how you found it. So my first question will be that when you joined the company was during the most challenging time of in a decade. So I would say that, can you tell us your experience? What was going through your mind at that time? Over to you, Brendan.
Yeah, so when I joined was the first lockdown, and I had quite a few thoughts running around my head, like when is it going to end? How am I gonna learn more and get to grips with the apprentice life in an estate agent? But during the lockdown, it was a good chance for me to get to know the team. It was a good chance to get to know all the programs we use and read the first edition of your book.
Fantastic. Okay. So that's how, so you were kind of confused. I didn't know what you were going to meet, but fortunately for you, we had it was really good. We had most of our meetings during Zoom. We had our appointments. We even had a video done during the first lockdown, but we spent more time understanding more of the regulations, which you got from, like you said, you read the first edition of the book. And what would you say about the first edition? How did that help you with your journey before the building was opened?
So it kind of got me to grips with how to come across to landlords, how to speak to tenants, what are the right things and what you shouldn't do with a landlord, like speaking wise and showing them that you've got the knowledge to what they are responsible for.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you very much, Brendan. And so when the building was finally opened, so from the moment we were on Zoom, working remotely, because that's when you joined, and the building was open, how would you compare both experiences or similarities if there is?
So when the building got open and we got back into the building, it felt really good. It felt like, ah, I'm in my role now, getting to grips with everything. We went out, we was doing some sales, viewings on properties. I got to grips with how to speak to new clients, how to show them around the place. And if they had any questions about anything, I was happy to answer it as best as I could, and they was all happy with it. So from reading the book and to getting into the building, I kind of passed the knowledge on to the tenants and clients of what I've learned.
It's fantastic, fantastic. So so you felt better and you could experience the practical aspect of estate agency. I would say that. And also, from then up to now, what would you say about your experience? What have you gained? Anything? What has been, because you were in a previous role before joining the company. So what has been your experience so far?
My main experience so far is how to deal with different people. Not everyone is the same.
Yes,
So it you kind of when you're on the phone to people or when you're face to face with people, you kind of get how they come across by the first word they say to you, and then you kind of know what you're leading into.
yeah,
So the experience is gaining more confidence on speaking to people and learning to understand not everyone's the same.
exactly. And that's the amazing thing about property industry. And that's what I tell everyone before joining the company. And I'm sure you remember at the first time when I spoke to you during the interview, I said, if you're not patient with people, property industry is about people, because that's what you do. You're day in, day out. You're talking to people, you're dealing with them. So all clients are not the same, just as you've mentioned. Tenant A is different from tenant B. Landlord A is different from. But I think the most important is having to understand the sort of landlords they have, the sort of tenants there. And I think that has really helped you as well. And like I said, that's one of the reasons why I'm celebrating you today, because you have been taught and you've listened. And like they say, knowledge becomes powerful when it's acted upon. And you've acted upon the knowledge right from the beginning, right from when you started up to now. And we can see the results. We've had fantastic reviews apart from myself, members of the team. We've had fantastic reviews from landlords, from tenants. So, and that's one thing I appreciate your the ability to learn. You're eager to learn and you're eager to put that to work. So I'd like to commend you again. It's been you've been an added addition to the company, and I've said that right from day one, and I'll keep saying that, and that's one of the reasons why you're still with us and we're having this conversation today. So, okay, if you had, my next question is, if you had someone, let's just say one of your friends or family members, like, okay, Brendan, you said you started with this company for whenever you started. I'm looking at a similar role, becoming an apprentice. What would be your advice, or what would you tell them based on your experience, or what has helped you to be successful in the role?
So I would say it's not as straightforward as people think. And if you're going to go into this role, you must go in with an open mind and be able to take some criticism of some landlords and tenants when they're not happy. So you
Fantastic.
need to be patient, calm, and collective.
Yes, absolutely. And for me, I always look at criticism as a positive, as opposed to the way other people say. Because, for instance, I'm sure you know it's not peculiar to our company. We've had some cases where we've lost a client before, and rather than get bitter or get upset or wondering who took the business from us, for me, I was more particular in finding out why we lost, if there's anything we can do to get better, to improve. For me, that was more of what I was looking at. When I spoke to her, she told me this and that, and I took it on board and we applied it. So for me, criticism works. It's a positive rather than a negative. I don't believe anyone knows it all. We are all learning, regardless of the amount of years I have in the property industry. I'm still learning every day. I get myself equipped regularly. Even while writing the second edition, I got to learn some other things as well. So I wouldn't say that there's any time you would stop learning right now the way a state agency has been done in the past. So another question is, which brings me to my next question. I'm sure we discussed it when you started with us before. People had this ideology that all we do as a state agency or lettings officer, what we do is just photocopy. That's the impression that everyone has. So, so now you've joined us, you see how it is, and I'd just like you to tell everyone if we are photocopiers or what do we actually do.
No, we're not photocopiers. We don't stay in the office all day and photocopy things. There is a lot to it. To be honest, I'm probably out of the office more than I'm actually in it, doing all the inspections,
Okay.
inventories, talking to tenants, doing viewings of properties. There's not a chance that we are standing behind a photocopier.
I'm glad you're laughing because unfortunately, when you're speaking to some landlords, that's all they think we do. They think it's so easy. And but I'm hoping for ROPA in the next 2 years when that comes in into place. I think there'll be more respect and trust put back in the industry, and everyone can take us serious. But I'm glad that we conduct our business in a different way. And just as you confirmed, we are not photocopiers, and we are increasing because of the outstanding work that we do. Thanks, Brendan. And also, in totality, what would you say about the property industry? What have you enjoyed most working at the, not about John Samuel, but what have you enjoyed most in terms of working as an apprentice, as an estate agent? What would you say? What do you enjoy most? Or what has been your taking, lessons learned, or something you would tell someone out there?
Uh, Altogether, just I love the industry. I've gained a lot of knowledge. I've learned a lot about myself. Um, and coming into it, I thought it was going to be a lot tougher for me to expand, but I've kind of came into this role, learned to, I've got the confidence to move forward and show people what can actually be done. And the property life is, it's a lot different and it's fun on some extent, but there are a lot of hard times.
Yes, there's and we're in one of those difficult times. We've had the first lockdown, we had the second one, we had the third one. But like I say to everyone, I think in all we're still grateful. And I think one of the lessons we've learned in 2020 is to appreciate what you have, and which is, I think that's one of the most important lessons, even at the nation at large, that we've learned to be more appreciative for what we have. I'm sure we are all going to pass through this. Like I said in my first video, that the vaccine has been rolled out, and hopefully by summer everything should start returning. Although there's been speculation that the mask and protective accessories would run up to the end of the year. But I think in all things we are grateful. We are one of those that are alive. We still have our jobs. We still have the business. So it's all about gratitude, and which is what we're talking about today. It's more to appreciate you openly. And also, finally, before we round up, um, do you believe you've been learning enough?
Yeah, yeah. With the lockdown and being in the office, I thought with the first lockdown, I thought I wouldn't be able to learn as much as I did, but where I had the time to read your book, look over the websites, go over the portals, and get to grips with things, I picked it up pretty quickly. I think that first lockdown helped me with improving on the portals and learning a lot.
Fantastic. Thank you, Brendan. Like I said earlier, we don't stop learning. There is amount of changes in terms of which led to my writing the second edition, because from the last time I wrote the first edition, there's been more laws coming out, like the electric safety. There's a lot of regulations that has come out after that. There's been some existing one that has been updated. So with the private rental sector, it's not as easy as some landlords think it is. So we have to keep updating ourselves. We need to be familiar with what the law is saying so that we are able to direct our clients in the right direction. And I'm happy that we've been, that's one thing we have been doing consistently. Like every week we update them, new regulations, what is happening in the housing market, what is happening at this time, can they still buy, can they still rent, can they still view. So I think it's disappointing sometimes when we find people saying that estate agencies are just photocopiers, and I'm just thinking, I don't think you know how much work that we do. Even with working remotely from home, we're still busy, still looking after. I'm going to give an example. I do know that some companies right now, based on what is happening, they've actually stopped their inspections, but we've been busy. We've still had virtual inspections done weekly, and that's what is up. So we are looking after our clients. And I think one of the lessons during this lockdown is the fact that we have been able to find a flexible approach to our business. So if we are unable to have an on-site inspection, we've looked at virtual inspections, which Brendan has been doing a fantastic job with. There hasn't been any negative remarks. So well done, Brendan. So this is just to appreciate you. I'm glad you're still happy working as an estate agent, and I'm sure you would. And I just want to say all those extra hours, all those times that you come in early, you're always the last to leave, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing to see a young man that is so dedicated, so committed, and above all, loyal as well. So thank you for being a valuable member of the team. And lastly, in the next 2, 3 years, what do you see yourself? How do you see yourself?
Um, I still see myself in property. I still see myself climbing up the ladder and doing the best I can to be the best.
Fantastic, fantastic. We can never stop dreaming, isn't it? And we can never stop walking towards that dream. And finally, this is just to introduce the second edition of Why Landlords and Tenants Fall Out of Love. Like I said, since the last time I published a book in 2016, a lot has happened. More examples, more of regulations like the licensing. There are more boroughs now that have adopted selective license, we have additional license, we have additional HMO. So name it, there's so many regulations. We've had the mandatory electric safety check, tenants fee ban. There's been a lot that has happened since 2016. So I thought this would have been the best way during the lockdown just to update the book and so that you can have more value, more information to update yourself. Like I said, with property industry, the law changes all the time, like Section 21. Now it's to serve a Section 21 at no fault, it has to be 6 months. For Section 8, 3 months previously. With Section 8, 2 weeks within 2 weeks, but now it's 3 months. So there's been a lot that has happened from 2016 to now. So you would agree with me why I've had to update the fourth edition. And there's been contributed chapter by Brendan. He's talked about his experience with tenants, with landlords. I'm sure you're all looking forward to that. His contribution by Brendan. We've had endorsements, updated regulations as well. So grab your copy. We would let you know in terms of where to, but it's available on Amazon. Even also, if you go on our website, you'll be able to purchase your copy. Like I said, it's been updated. Like I said, without ignorance is no longer an excuse. If you go um, to the court of law and you plead ignorance, unfortunately, it's not acceptable. So you can't say, oh my God, I thought this is what happened, or I gave it to my state agency. You have to be responsible about your investment. So the more knowledge you acquire, the better it is for you. So once again, thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll be back very soon. And like I said, we're celebrating Apprentice day week from the 8th till the 14th of February. We have our property surgery that runs every month, last Tuesdays of every month between 6 and 8 p.m. Booking is essential. If you go on website, if you go on our website, I beg your pardon, there'll be a way for you to register your interest, send us an email, and we'll be more than happy. It's been a success. We've helped many clients through the property surgery. It's free, so why not take advantage of it? So it's been set up to help those busy clients that are unable to meet up during the day. So it's been set up once in a month. All right, thank you everyone, and have a good weekend. Bye.